And we're joined by the winning head coach, Lance Maha. Coach, first off, you and I were joking before today's game about the youth on this team. A lot of youthful players on your team that really stepped up big tonight. How did you like that performance by the younger players on your team?
Well, I think with Hempfield being a rival for us, you know, you're always concerned with young guys. Every experience that we've had this year has been a new one, basically. You know, we returned from last year one letterman. He had 23 points on the year. So it was, you know, it's been a struggle at times. Our point guard's been out for the last 5 games, didn't play tonight. So we're kind of, you know, it's choppy. And all we've been emphasizing for the last couple weeks is, like, we have to get dirty. We have to get on the floor. We have to get some extra possessions. And we did that tonight. I thought we poked it out from their big guy a couple times, helping down, and did a nice job there. And, you know, we made our share of mistakes for sure, but we kind of gritted it out. So I was really proud of the guys, and my hope is, especially for our young guys, you know, there's more ways to win than just to make shots, and I felt like we did that tonight.
Luke Denny really had a nice performance, one of the seniors on your team, and player that is also a football player, so he kind of brings that kind of mentality over to basketball as well. How much of an impact has he had throughout this year, but also in particular tonight with some big free throws down the stretch?
Yeah, first off, Luke's a great kid. He's a super kid. He's a good athlete. He runs and jumps. He's a football player playing basketball, as you could tell. But, like, for us, he's our big guy. He's 6 foot, 180 pounds. But he's tough. And, you know, he's able to play physically with other teams' big guys. And at times we're able to get him in places where he's a little bit quicker. And a couple times I thought he was able to drive the ball and get some finishes and then hit 3 or 4 foul shots down a stretch here, so which was big for us. Yeah, he's a great kid. He's been very good all season. He competes. He rebounds, defends every day. This is a little bit of an aberration for him from an offensive standpoint, but he did a really nice job.
I think you made a great point, Coach, about trying to find those possessions. You know, I never coached or won as many as you, but I've seen these that the average fan looks at the end and say, 6 points, it was this. The matchup I really noticed was Denny offensively against their post.
Yes.
And then your ability to try to match up there, right? And it felt like you won that matchup. Was that something that you kind of looked ahead of time and said, hey, if we can limit Williams but go get after him, that may be our advantage?
Yeah, we wanted to make him guard. You know, and
Correct.
We wanted to get Luke in places from 15, 16 feet in where he was able to drive it on him, either to create for somebody else. He did a real nice job, kicked one to Zukas, and about in the middle of the fourth quarter there was a big shot off of the drive. And we felt if he could get a couple finishes there, a couple fouls, and then Luke does a nice job of getting below you and pushing you out from behind. You know, we don't front much. We try to help from the top because we're so small, kills us on the weak side rebounding. So we try to push out and help from the top. And I thought our guys dug in off of the right guys for the most part, and Luke did a pretty good job. Even when Williams scored, he made him score over the top of him, which we wanted to do from 7 or 8 feet. So those were shots we were willing to live with. And yeah, surely that was part of our game plan.
Yeah.
I think and Mark also mentioned it, the ability by your guards to finish in a variety of ways and in traffic. How much are you guys working on something like that in practice?
We work on it every day. You know, we go through a finishing series. I'm sure Mark could tell you that when you're you know, with college kids, you're in a position where, you know, every day it's just repetition. You know, we bring the pad out. We go to both hands. We work 3 or 4 different finishes through a series every day, and it's starting to come. I'm a little bit impatient, but it's starting to come, you know, and I think it is, you know, hopefully we get Chris McKnight back here in the short term, and, you know, we really felt like we could challenge for a playoff spot, and, you know, that's our hope. We're right in that spot right now where if we do what I think we're capable of doing, I think we might be able to sneak in on the back end. It's been a while since we won one. I think we lost 3 in a row, 4 in a row. So.
I was actually just about to ask you, I mean, how important was this win for you guys, just to kind of build the confidence, especially since it's been since December 28th since you guys last won?
Huge. And, you know, the one we lost on December 28th was a double overtime game, and we had lost, you know, we made some mistakes as a young team there, and then we lost to Penn Trafford on a buzzer beater early in the year, lost by 2 to Seton LaSalle early in the year, kind of, you know, young team making steps. And then here today, we made the plays down the stretch, and we made the foul shots. So that, to me, that shows progress for our guys. So I'm proud of our guys, and hopefully we continue in that vein as the season moves on.
How do you feel that this can kind of maybe kickstart a little run for you guys?
That's my hope. We have two, we could play around a little bit. I don't want to say play around, but experiment a little bit here in the next couple games. We have 2 non-section games and, see some different styles, but also maybe try some things for ourselves and then get ready for that last stretch run of 5 games in the back end of our section. Our section's a meat grinder, so, we surely need to be prepared. But my hope is this kickstarts us. If you coach kids long enough, you're one loss from thinking they think it's the end of the world, and 1 win from thinking that we might be the best team in the Whippeal. So truth is typically somewhere in between. But
yeah, I think my experience has been confidence is the best play we can run, and it's so much better to teach off a win. What are some things that you will do with the team to kind of use the win to say, all right, guys, now here's this thing let's work at, but you're also doing this really well. Is there a different approach maybe to MAR practice than you've had before?
And I think what we'll really talk about, and a little bit beat up the day after a game, we'll lift and we'll watch some tape, but what we'll talk about is some hustle plays where we got on the floor, and we talked a lot about that, and where we dug down within our game plan. We'll talk about that, and when you win a game, and if you play decent, typically your collective self-esteem is strong enough that you can take some constructive criticism too. So we'll go into some things that I feel like we could have done better, where we knew they were going to trap us off of some dribble handoffs, and we worked on that, and we didn't do what we were supposed to do. So that's something that we could talk about. But yeah, surely it's going to be you do, and I agree with you that people think that teaching off of a loss, so you could teach this and this and this. A lot of times teaching off of a win where you could sandwich, okay, here's some really good stuff we did. You throw the meat in there. We should have done this, and then sandwich it back up with something positive. So that'll be our approach tomorrow for sure.
Well, I tell you, the one thing I do better since I'm not coaching this year is I sleep better either way. But you sleep a little bit better when you win. I know that for sure. So congratulations. That was a good one.
Appreciate your time, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Coach, thanks for stopping by. And I don't know about you, but I'm hungry now that you mentioned the sandwiches. So I hope you get a good post-game meal.
You don't get a body like this not eating sandwiches.
Thanks, Coach. That's Coach Lance Maha of the victorious Norwin Knights boys basketball team.